Over the past month we've seen protests within the NFL take a startling racist turn. Some players are no longer happy just to quietly protest the anthem, as we're now seeing black players rendering black power salutes after they sack white players, an act that Seahawks player Michael Bennett started last month. But now things have taken a startling turn for the worst, and a white quarterback has just suffered a season-ending injury that appears to be due to a disgusting act of racism on the football field. We learned last week about the disturbing thing that began happening on the Oakland Raiders football team. As we previously reported, the Oakland Raiders is the only NFL lineup made up almost entirely of black players, except for their white quarterback, Derek Carr. Carr decided to stand proud and tall for the national anthem before the Raiders-Redskins game 2 weeks ago, but his entire offensive line, that protects him on the field from being hit, decided to sit out for the national anthem. Before the game, one of the black players allegedly told another player, if he, Carr, wants to stand alone for the national anthem, he can stand alone on the field. And making their quarterback stand alone without any protection whatsoever appears to be exactly what started happening. Armstrong and Getty noted on their sports radio program that the star quarterback was not sacked a single time last season as his offensive line was always there to shield him from getting hit. But curiously, in the game immediately following the anthem protest by the black players, the white quarterback would suddenly find himself without any sort of protection by the players who were supposed to quite literally have his back. He would go on to be sacked _4 times by the Redskins, back-to-back _to-back on the second offensive series of the Raiders. While we had all hoped that this team was not actually punishing their white quarterback for standing for the national anthem, what just happened during the Oakland Raiders game against the Denver Broncos over the weekend has many fans shaking their head in disbelief. The very same white quarterback Derek Carr, whose black teammates in the week prior said Carr could stand alone on the field, now has a fractured spine after suffering a nearly career-ending injury on the football field. The Ringer reports that the game came to an abrupt halt after Carr took a brutal hit that rendered him motionless and unable to move on the field. Medical personnel scrambled to attend to him, where fans anxiously held their breath as Carr was whisked away to a blue medical tent. Carr was scrambling in the backfield trying to avoid a sack from multiple Broncos defenders when, falling toward the ground, it appeared he took a knee in the back from Broncos defensive end Adam Gotsis, the Ringer reported. Carr stayed down on the field before heading to the blue medical tent on the sideline, and eventually the locker room. Would the black offensive line throw the entire game in order to teach Carr a lesson for standing for the anthem? Sports commentators Armstrong and Getty believe that's exactly what happened. Here's a transcript from their sports broadcast that took place after the Raiders-Redskins game, and it's extremely unsettling. Via the Federalist Papers, if this story is true, you've got an animosity between a white quarterback and a black offensive line that you can't fix very easily, they said. Now this is getting into paranoia. And the fan base in the whole country. They wondered if this was a one-time throwing of the game. So is this a one-time punishment? Have they gotten together and talked to each other? Or are the black guys in the team not going to block for the white guys? At least for one game, it seems to be a message that was sent, the other host said. Maybe it was brief, maybe it was alright, we're going to let him get hit a couple times, see if he gets the message, but we don't know. There were a handful of dropped passes by some of the black players that were really weird, they went on to say. That happens in the NFL all the time. But then the other stuff came up, they said. The hosts then said their inside source, who is extremely reliable, claims the game was in fact thrown, which could go on to be a disastrous scandal for the NFL. They have a huge danger warning buzzer going off right now because if this happens on the Raiders, it could happen on any team as different decisions are made. As times are divided. When a reporter asked the team official about this, the host said they would be blackballed. Later in the broadcast, TV host Bill O'Reilly pointed out that it's illegal to throw a game, and the players could go to prison for what they've done. It's entirely possible that Carr's injuries were completely coincidental. But in light of what was said the week prior, where one of his black teammates allegedly said that Carr could stand alone on the field, Carr's sudden back injury cannot go unquestioned.